Well, no, it's one of those where whether I was playing every week and felt like I was first choice for Wales. I think you were always waiting for the squad to come out and to see what it was and if he was in it, and it's been no different, ever since. It's never a thing that you take for granted or just assume. It should never be like that. So over the last couple, year or two, there's been different things going on with my previous club, and then obviously waiting. But the gaffer's been brilliant in terms of constantly picking me. And of course, I haven't played as much, and I wouldn't have expected to. But no, now is I'm in a different situation in terms of playing every week. I feel like I've started really well at Charlton. It's gone well for myself, and obviously results-wise for the club. And yeah, just looking forward to it. And I think you just learn as you get older in football, never to look too far ahead. You almost look at the next game and the next sort of month and stuff like that, and just roll with it really. So yeah, playing well. Looking forward, like I said, to being captain tomorrow night, and anything else after that, we'll just wait and see. But pleased to to still be involved.
So you don't think of like the young guns, Connor Roberts, Nico Williams, giving them a kick in training or whatever?
No, well, I don't think Fagey would be too happy about that either. But no, we've always had it. As long as I can remember, the last couple of years, players joining the squad, in pretty much probably every position throughout the squad in the last couple of years, and those two have been no different to many others that quite quickly of joining the squad, make a real impact. Before you know it, you think back and almost it feels like you can't remember a time when they weren't in the squad, and that's the way football is. Wales are, like I said, been fortunate over the years that we've had that coming through. There's probably a load more that are probably waiting, for it to happen too. And it's brilliant to see, because it keeps, even though people sometimes try and call you old or older, just turned 31 doesn't feel that way, but it keeps everybody fresh, and we've created such a good atmosphere around the squad that it's brilliant when you get new boys in who want to buy into that almost and keep things moving forward.
Last one for me, Chris. I'm sure it's occurred to you that if you play 3 times in the next 10 days or so, you hit the 100 mark.
Yeah, well, I've just done some other press and that come up as well. So I hadn't thought of it before that. But yeah, it's a question that I think when I got in the 90s, I think it was always being asked until it happens. If and when it does, that'll be the case. But again, without sounding boring, that's a typical footballer's reply, or my reply, as I've probably given you over many years of answering, is, that would be fantastic. But, there's no way you can go into a game, against a very good team on Thursday of thinking anything other than your performance. And then once that one is done, we move on. But yeah, it's the question that will always be asked. But when, I suppose, if you sit back and think about it, it's not the worst, position to be in, because it means, I've obviously got a lot of caps. So yeah, no, it's just one of those things. And if and when it happens, then we'll deal with it.
Chris, all the best. Now you put me right on the captaincy thing. I'm going to go and buy a new anorak, I think.
Yeah. Cheers, Rob. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Beth Fisher.
Hey, Chris. You're right. Beth from ITV.
Hiya. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. And Rob said that you're a great guy. I know you must have paid him a lot of money for him to say that. But on a serious note, there have been tough parts during your career, and football is a team game. So talk to me about the character it's taken you to kind of be in the squad and keep positive, because, there's so much talk about on-pitch performance, but your character has basically got you in some squads when, in other circumstances you may have not been in there, but you're in it because you add off the pitch as well. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think it's always something as a player. Hopefully every manager or coach that's worked with me would know that whatever's going on in terms of team selection or things that are happening, that I'll give my best when we're training or in games that is selected to play. So that's always been my main thing really. Is your job as a footballer is to make sure you turn up and give your best. There's been certain times over the last couple of years with things at my previous club that probably weren't right in terms of certain bits of treatment, but I think you get to learn in football that sometimes those things can happen, and always know that nothing's forever in terms of that type of stuff. And now things can change so quickly. I'm at a club where at Charlton, with playing for a manager that has been fantastic for me, and very, very good. Treats me with a lot of respect, treats me well. I'm playing well on the pitch at the moment. Results are going good, and everything at the moment is brilliant. I know that's never forever, but yeah, you just have to keep on working hard and do your job that you get paid to do, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the job that you do, which is, playing football on the pitch. The last camp was a tough one, 3 away games, but getting 4 points in those 2 Nations League matches proves how far this team has come. You could take a lot of kind of credit and, I guess, motivation going forward now, can't you, into the next 3 games? Yeah,
those were games that tested maybe a different side to the team in terms of in especially the Republic of Ireland game, in terms of battling and holding on for a clean sheet. And those are the important ones really, because you can quite easily be on the wrong side of a goal and end up losing. And we've got into a decent habit at the moment of not losing many games and those types of games. And if we can't win it, then you end up drawing them. And it's a real good position to be in, and a habit to get into as a squad. And hopefully people see us as, when you play Wales, it's not going to be an easy game. So, we put ourselves in a real good position. It was a tough trip in terms of the travelling, and we was away for quite a long time, especially with different protocols in place around the hotel and everything like that. And it's nice now to be back in Wales and have some home games, and hopefully finish the job off.
Last question from me. Each squad and camp have characters. You've got this new kind of youth coming through. Has anyone stepped up as the class clown? Is anyone trying to steal someone's thunder in terms of the music? What's it like in terms of the correlation between the older and the younger?
Yeah, good. I think, everybody in the squad is treated the same, whether you've got, one cap or however many. I think the most important thing we have is the level of respect for every staff member and every player. There's a couple that are more louder, if you like, from others. I'll probably refrain from giving you a name because they wouldn't be too happy with me. But yeah, that's one of the things that we do well in, with this squad, and it's been like it for years and years, is when you come away, yes, we want to get good results, and when it's time to work, we really focus on that. But we're away for such a long time together that it needs to be fun and everybody have a good time. And it's been a real good camp, this one, as it has been for many years. So it's a really enjoyable part to be in.
Great. Good luck for the next 3 games.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll take a couple of questions from Lawrence Moore before we go into the written press.
Yeah, hi Chris. Good to see you back up at the top table.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I was trying to think, because we speak to certain players, and I think Chris Mepham came in here and discussed kind of how tough it was for him not playing while injured. It just strikes me as a footballer not playing while fit must be incredibly frustrating. How do you cope mentally with that?
Well, obviously, it's your job. You train all week to want to play on the weekend. That is the part that everybody sees. So it's the main part of what you want to do. Over the last, like I say, couple of years at Reading, it wasn't always the case. It's one of those things you you have to deal with. Otherwise, life wouldn't be great, because it, as much as people say, oh, it's okay. You wake up every day to go into train, and on the basis that you want to be in the team on the Saturday. But you're never going to go through your career of playing every week in every game, and it's important to, I always think, to stay quite balanced, whether things are going really well and you're on top form, or they're not going well at all and you're not playing, or you're injured. I think it's really important to stay quite level, because there's one thing in football, it's never the same, and it's either up there or down there. And I think that's the most important, and would be any advice I would give to people is, there's going to be many ups and many downs throughout it. It's just one of those things you have to learn to roll with, and stay quite level through it if you can.
Yeah, because I guess Gareth was kind of going through it at the same time as you, as well, in a similar sort of vein. So is he back enjoying his football with a smile on his face? Have you noticed a sort of difference in him in this camp?
No, every time I've been around him for Wales, again, whether things were going, he was playing every week and scoring, big goals from Madrid, or he wasn't playing. He was the exact same whenever he walked through the doors of the hotel to meet up with Wales, and the same now. He's always been the same, like everybody else. He loves coming away and playing for Wales, and the enjoyment, I think, around the hotel and the atmosphere. To be honest, everybody normally walks around with a smile on their face, and it's a great place to be. But it's fantastic to see him back in the Premier League, and he's obviously getting fitter and sharper as time goes on, and that can only be a good thing for Wales. His performances have very rarely ever dropped for us, so we always know what Gareth Bale we're gonna get when Wales games come around, and hopefully that can continue for many more years to come.
For yourself, have I been sort of seeing right that you've been playing at centre backs some of the time for Charlton?
I played the one game against Portsmouth. There we had an injury and a suspension, so we were struggling actually. So I moved inside for that game, and thankfully we kept the clean sheet, and we won the game. So the one game I did, I played 45 minutes in right-sided of a three. We changed in one of the games, predominantly right back. But no, as a squad, we've done really well, like I say, so far, and in the victories that we have. And it was a real enjoyable 3 weeks of winning every couple of days. I had a great time.
Yeah, I saw your tweet. It sounded like you were enjoying it. It was I could see the joy behind it. But so right side of centre back, could that be somewhere that you play for Wales? And certainly we saw a three being played last week. Last time out against Bulgaria.
Yeah, I played in the right side of a back three, and in pretty, I think, other than the first two games, in all the qualifying games leading up to the Euros, when Jazz was playing right wing back. It's a position I think you learn to get used to at times, and would feel comfortable playing pretty much anywhere across the back four or five. But again, when you turn up, you try and do as well as possible. If you're asked to play in goal, you would do it, wouldn't you? So it's one of those things. And if there's ever a time where you're asked to play in a slightly different position, if it's felt that you're going to help the team, then of course you're more than willing to do it, and that's your job as a player, really.
Obviously, you've seen Connor Roberts come in and Nico as well. What have you made of their sort of advancements in the last couple of years as you've been sort of training alongside them?
Yeah, really good. They've come in and made an impact on the squad and the team. And those two, Connor's been playing very well for Swansea. He's been doing it for a number of years, and one that like I say, has impacted the squad and the team, and done really well. And it's unfortunate that they obviously just missed out at the end of end of last season. But no, he's done fantastic. Nico the same. Obviously, the games he's been playing in, he hasn't played many times for us, but when he's played, you can tell that for many years to come, he's going to be, a real important part of the squad. And those two, like we've seen with so many others over the last couple of years, of people coming in and quite quickly, making a big difference to the team and the squad. So I feel we're in a real good position in terms of as a group of players that we're able to pick from, and just goes to show that things below the senior team, if you like, are going really well, and because we're constantly having players come up and like I say, not just getting selected, but when they're playing or training are actually impacting the group that we have here already. So it's fantastic to see, and long may it continue with young players coming through, because they are the future of Welsh football.